Hey everyone, and welcome to Weight Loss Wednesday. I'm Chef AJ, the author of The Secrets to Ultimate Weight Loss, Own Your Health, and the new 10th anniversary edition of Unprocessed, which you can get spiral bound from Amazon, I just found out. And this is where I show you recipes for healthy, permanent, and sustainable weight loss. The reason the 10th anniversary edition of Unprocessed is different is because, for one, it has color photographs by the enormously talented Hannah Kaminsky. It's got a brand new foreword by Dr. John McDougall. And it also has 30 brand new recipes, one of which I'm doing today, which is probably my favorite in the book, from page 70, the Smoky sweet potato burgers. There's a lot of wonderful plant-based burgers out there. I even have 4 burger recipes in my book, The Secrets to Ultimate Weight Loss. But a lot of them involve a lot of steps where you gotta cook the onion, or they use beans. Not that there's anything wrong with beans, but I was really trying to create a lower FODMAP version for all the people that contact me with GI problems. And this one is so easy. There's a good chance you have all the ingredients already in your pantry. So we're gonna start out with the broccoli, and I have cooked this in the Pampered Chef microwave steamer. And when I'm doing these burgers, I cook it a little longer than I would if I was going to enjoy it, because I want it really, really soft. It turns out that the green part of the broccoli is fairly low in FODMAP. It's the stems that are high. So I've cooked it until soft, and then I'm just gonna take a little potato masher and smash those florets up. You probably could use frozen broccoli in this recipe. I haven't tried it, but I don't see why it wouldn't work. When I'm eating broccoli, I tend to not really like the taste of frozen vegetables unless I'm gonna air fry them, for example, Brussels sprouts, but I'm just not the biggest fan. Not that there's anything nutritionally wrong with them. So we're just trying to get this nice and soft and smushed up. Okay, I always have broccoli in my refrigerator. I love the organic broccoli from Trader Joe's. I don't know why, that tastes so good to me. It's my favorite broccoli. It's mostly florets, I guess. All right, so then the sweet potatoes. I like to roast my sweet potatoes rather than bake them or steam them or boil them, because it brings out, you know, the sweetness in the sweet potatoes. So I like to take the peel off while they're still a little bit warm, because sometimes otherwise it sticks to them. So you can actually do this step in advance. I always have roasted sweet potatoes on hand, so I never really have to roast them for this recipe. So then I'm going to put that in the bowl. And again, mash, mash, mash. When I'm eating them just for my lunch, which I eat every day, sweet potatoes and broccoli, I prefer the Hana yams or the Japanese. And I like the orange ones for things like sweet potato fries. But for this burger, I do like the orange ones, which apparently are the ones that are easiest for most people to find anyway. So that works out good. In a pinch, I've actually used frozen sweet potatoes. Trader Joe's sells them, and the recipe has worked out fine. And sweet potatoes also are low FODMAP. And then we have rolled oats, which are also low FODMAP. And again, with the FODMAP, it also depends how much of the thing you eat. Unfortunately, onion and garlic isn't low FODMAP, and that is really the basis of most of my recipes since I'm not using salt. However, I learned that the green part of the scallion is, not the white part, and that is what we're putting in here. So we just want to get this all mushed up. I'm going to put food service gloves on, because I find that that's how I can really get this nice and mixed. But first I'm going to add my rice. I just microwaved a bag of Trader Joe's organic rice. You could certainly use brown. I use that, whatever I have. And then my spices. And again, you know, a recipe is only as good as all your ingredients. And since I happen to really love every ingredient in this recipe, it turns out it's my favorite burger. I always batch cook these, so I keep these in the freezer. And anytime I need a quick meal, I just bring it out. I can microwave it, I can air fry it, and you can actually make them as large or as small as you want. I recently had 8 people over for dinner, and so I made 8 burgers. They were really large, but that way everybody just had one. And we served it with lettuce wraps and pickles and barbecue sauce. One of my favorite ways to serve this is with mango salsa, zesty mango salsa. The recipe is also in my book. And you could even make these into little ball shapes and air fry them, little sweet potato meatballs. So we want to just get everything mixed up. This smells so good. You could also bake this into muffin tins. Silicone is preferred because it won't stick, or a loaf pan. You would have to increase your cooking time. If you make very large burgers, you'll probably want to cook them longer. So if you want to be perfect, you can just take a half cup measure and measure it that way. But I've done this so much, I just kind of know what size I like with my hand. It does make it pretty easy when you use gloves. A lot of people tell me that this recipe and other recipes stick on parchment paper. I've never found parchment paper to be beneficial, to be honest. I don't like it. I think it's wasteful. So I either use a silicone baking mat or one of these permanent ones. I know it doesn't look that good, but it works great. It's gotten a lot of wear and tear. I used to get these on QVC. I don't know if you can do that anymore. And make sure you have a little bit of space between your burgers because you're going to want to flip them. And you don't flip them if they won't flip easily. And that's why I say in the book 45 minutes or 30 to 45 minutes, because it's going to depend on how big you make them. I try to make each one the same size, whether you can flip them at 30 minutes or have to go to 45. Because if you try to flip them before they're ready, they will fall apart. But if you just wait until they flip easily, they won't fall apart. If you are going to freeze them, my recommendation is to cook them first before you freeze them. So if I'm making really large ones, I'll only put 4 on a tray. If I'm making them, these are about medium, I'll put 6. And I tend to like to cook them one tray at a time, at least because I'm cooking them in my Breville, not on air fryer, and I find that way I don't have to remember to switch the trays. So I usually do my batch cooking while I'm doing something else, listening to a podcast, doing laundry, so I don't mind if I have to do it in 2 batches there. And I've never tried grilling these, but I would probably maybe cook them first. I just worry that they could fall apart on a grill. But you know, I don't know because I've never had a grill. I've lived in an apartment most of my life, and even when I lived in a house, we didn't have a grill. So baking them is the way I like to go. But you can see they're pretty easy to make because you don't have to do any kind of real chopping or sauteing. Like I say, these are ingredients you can pretty much get anywhere. So I'm going to go bake these, and then I'm going to go back into the kitchen after they're done and show you what they look like. Well, this is what they look like when they're done. They are delicious. I really hope you'll try this recipe and let me know what you think. Enjoy them any way you would a plant burger. Like I mentioned, zesty mango salsa is great on them. My 2-ingredient barbecue sauce, and they freeze spectacularly. Thanks so much for watching another episode of Weight Loss Wednesday. I'm Chef AJ, and I make healthy, taste delicious so that you can have both the health and the body that you so richly deserve. Take care.